Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our journey today with our first slide. We're diving into the topic of global media culture. This is the cover slide, so I just want to briefly set the stage. We'll be exploring the key concepts and principles that shape our understanding of global media. Throughout this presentation, we'll have engaging discussions and hands-on activities to help us grasp the material better. And by the end, we'll be well prepared for the challenges ahead. So, let's get started and enjoy the learning process together. Cultural globalization has both positive and negative effects on societies, and it's been a hot topic for discussion and debate. When we talk about cultural globalization, we're referring to the spread and exchange of cultural ideas, values, practices, and products across different countries and regions. It's like a global sharing of culture. This process is made possible by advances in technology, things like the internet, social media, and mobile communication, along with improvements in transportation that make it easier to move people and goods around the world. As societies become more interconnected, these exchanges become more noticeable and impactful. In this lesson, I want you to understand how the spread and exchange of cultural beliefs, values, ideas, practices, and products really stand out across different societies and nations. This phenomenon is driven by technology, transportation, communication, and international trade, which increase how connected and dependent we all are. Now, when we look at global media culture, it's clear that media plays a huge role in shaping and spreading culture across borders. It influences what people watch, listen to, and engage with, creating a shared cultural experience on a global scale. So, as we explore this topic, keep in mind that cultural globalization influences everything from our daily habits to our worldviews, and understanding its effects helps us better appreciate the interconnected world we live in. While the content of media is certainly important, what McLuhan really emphasizes is that the medium itself carries a lot of weight. It's not just about what is being communicated, but how it's presented, distributed, and consumed that shapes its impact on both individuals and communities. This idea pushes us beyond just the message itself. Media, as a form of technology, has the power to fundamentally change how societies function. For example, the introduction of new media platforms can completely alter the way people communicate, how they access information, and even how they perceive the world around them. And that leads us to one of McLuhan's most famous insights. The medium is the message. What he means is that the technology and the delivery method of media have a profound influence on how information is consumed, and ultimately, how it affects us as individuals and as a society. So, when we think about media and communication, it's crucial to remember that the medium itself shapes the message in ways that go beyond just the content. It's a powerful force that influences our perceptions, interactions, and societal structures. Let's take a closer look at the different types of media that shape our communication landscape. First, digital media includes the internet, mobile communication, and social media platforms. These technologies have truly revolutionized how we access, consume, and share information worldwide. They make it incredibly easy to stay connected and informed no matter where we are. Moving on, broadcast media covers radio, film, and television. These mediums have played a major role in distributing content broadly and have significantly influenced global culture and communication practices. Finally, we have print media, which includes books, magazines, and newspapers. Despite being the oldest among these, print media continues to be vital for information dissemination and cultural exchange. When we look at these different media types together, they form a comprehensive ecosystem that influences how ideas spread and cultures evolve in our interconnected world. The media and communication industries play a leading role in driving globalization forward. They are not just facilitators, but powerful agents that help transform social, cultural, and political structures across the globe. When we think about the impact of media, it's clear that its transformative power is immense. It shapes how societies interact, how cultures exchange ideas, and how political movements gain momentum. Thanks to sophisticated telecommunications networks, the pace of globalization has accelerated significantly. These advanced communication systems allow instant connectivity across borders, making global communication networks more robust and extensive than ever before. Overall, the media and communication sector are central to our interconnected world. They enable the rapid flow of information, ideas, and culture, reinforcing the idea that in today's globalized era, media is truly a powerful force shaping our collective future. Deterritorialization, due to media, refers to how traditional geographic borders and boundaries are becoming less significant, thanks to the rapid growth of global connectivity. As communication technologies like the internet, social media, and telecommunications have advanced, they've drastically reduced the constraints of time and space. This means that people can now interact and exchange information instantly across vast distances. At the same time, improvements in transportation, such as faster, more efficient, and more accessible travel, have made it easier to move people, goods, and ideas around the world. All of these developments are contributing to a world where physical location matters less than ever before, which ties directly into the overall theme of how globalization and media are reshaping our social and cultural landscapes. On this slide, we see how digital platforms and social media play a crucial role in speeding up the exchange of cultures and shared experiences around the world. These platforms make it easier than ever for people from different countries to connect, share ideas, and learn from each other in real time. Media content, whether it's through television, radio, newspapers, or online channels, helps spread cultural elements across borders. This means that cultural norms, values, and even identities can reach audiences far beyond their original locations. The media acts as a powerful tool in globalization because it amplifies these interactions. When content from one part of the world is accessible globally, it not only informs but also promotes understanding and appreciation of different cultures. Overall, this interconnectedness fosters a more integrated global community, where cultural exchange becomes a natural part of our daily lives, reinforcing the overall theme of how technology and media shape our interconnected world. The global cultural landscape is a rich tapestry that includes a wide variety of cultural expressions, practices, and identities from around the world. Thanks to advancements in technology, transportation, and communication, these cultural ideas can now be exchanged and spread more easily than ever before. This interconnectedness has led to a more globalized cultural scene where different influences blend together. You see this especially in how cultures are hybridizing, combining elements from different traditions to create new, vibrant expressions. At the same time, many communities are also working to preserve and revitalize their traditional practices, ensuring their cultural heritage remains alive and relevant. When we talk about blending and hybridization, we're referring to how diverse influences, like language, art, music, and literature, come together to shape our shared cultural landscape. This interconnectedness enriches our experiences and highlights the diversity we see across the globe. So, in essence, the global cultural landscape is a dynamic space where traditions, customs, beliefs, and values are constantly evolving through this exchange. It's a reflection of how our world is more connected than ever, fostering both the preservation of unique identities and the creation of new, hybrid cultural forms. So, as we look at how globalization has influenced our cultural landscape, it's clear that it's played a major role in spreading popular culture across borders. Think about movies, music, fashion. These are now accessible worldwide, breaking down geographical barriers. This interconnectedness allows us to share not just entertainment, but also ideas, knowledge, and different perspectives. As a result, we see a richer cultural diversity and more opportunities for intercultural dialogue. The overall picture is a dynamic, constantly changing tapestry of cultural expressions. It's shaped by ongoing interactions and exchanges between local, regional, and global forces, making our cultural landscape an ever-evolving mosaic. This interconnectedness is really at the heart of understanding how cultures influence and transform each other in today's world. Streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime have really transformed the way we access and share cultural content across the globe. They allow viewers from different countries to explore a wide variety of international films, TV shows, and documentaries, which in turn fosters a greater understanding of different cultures. This kind of cross-cultural exchange is more accessible than ever before, breaking down barriers and connecting us through stories and perspectives from around the world. It's a powerful example of how digital media can promote global awareness and empathy, which ties into the overall theme of how new media is shaping our world today. Now, let's explore how social media has truly transformed activism. By leveraging the reach and engagement of social media, activists have been able to bring global attention to critical issues, influence public discourse, and catalyze meaningful change in society. Social media has become a powerful tool for grassroots movements to drive social and political transformation. One of the most significant aspects is the borderless nature of these platforms. They allow activists to transcend geographical boundaries and connect with like-minded individuals around the world. This connectivity enables the rapid spread of ideas, the coordination of protests, and the amplification of marginalized voices that might otherwise go unheard. This concept of borderless activism means that individuals can share information, raise awareness, and mobilize support on a global scale. Think about movements like the Arab Spring or Black Lives Matter. These gained incredible momentum largely through social media, demonstrating how powerful digital platforms are in shaping social and political landscapes. In summary, social media activism empowers people everywhere to participate in social change, making movements more inclusive, immediate, and impactful. It truly changes the way we engage with important societal issues today. As we look at this slide, what stands out is how the reach of global news coverage truly empowers individuals. It allows us to stay informed about international affairs, and that's so important in today's interconnected world. When we're well-informed, we can make more well-rounded decisions and participate in meaningful discussions about the world around us. This, in turn, promotes a more informed and globally aware populace. Moving to the next point, these global news networks offer a diverse range of perspectives. That's key because it gives us a more comprehensive understanding of world events. When stories are reported from different cultural and political contexts, it helps bridge gaps between nations and fosters a greater sense of global community. Finally, global media networks like BBC World News and CNN International extend their coverage beyond national borders. They bring global events and perspectives directly to audiences everywhere, which is essential for promoting cross-cultural understanding. By staying informed about international issues through these networks, we can all play a part in building a more connected and understanding world. Now, let's talk about how streaming platforms are breaking down geographical barriers. By doing so, they have the potential to bridge cultural divides and foster intercultural dialogue. This kind of exchange allows us to share ideas and experiences across borders, leading to a more interconnected and inclusive global community. These platforms serve as a window into different societies, giving viewers the chance to gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of cultures that might be unfamiliar to them. Watching foreign films, TV shows, and documentaries can really foster cross-cultural empathy and understanding, helping us see the world through different perspectives. Furthermore, streaming platforms have revolutionized the way we consume media. They provide unprecedented access to content from around the world, so users can explore diverse cultural narratives and viewpoints that they might not have encountered otherwise. This global reach enhances cultural exchange, making our world feel smaller and more connected than ever before. Now, let's talk about how the availability of diverse content on streaming platforms really fosters cultural exchange and appreciation. When we have access to a wide range of entertainment from around the world, it opens up opportunities for us to discover new perspectives, customs, and stories. This exposure helps us develop a deeper understanding and respect for different cultures. Streaming services like Netflix and Spotify are prime examples. They offer films, TV shows, and music from various countries and cultures, making it easier for us to explore and enjoy diverse forms of entertainment. This not only broadens our horizons, but also promotes a sense of connection across cultures. In essence, by providing this rich variety of content, streaming platforms serve as a bridge that encourages cultural exchange, helping us appreciate the world's diversity in a more meaningful way. This aligns perfectly with the overall theme of how digital media can enhance our global understanding. Now, let's talk about the incredible influence of social media influencers in shaping consumer culture and setting global trends. This really highlights how media and globalization work together to impact our modern society. Influencers collaborate with brands all over the world, using their vast reach and cultural influence to shape what people buy and what trends they follow. They've become global figures, promoting products, services, and cultural ideas to millions of followers across different countries. This shows a fascinating interplay between media, globalization, and consumer behavior. Essentially, influencer marketing is a powerful tool that drives international trends and helps brands connect with a worldwide audience, making it a key element in understanding modern consumer culture. When companies leverage shared cultural touchpoints and tailor their messaging, they can create advertising that truly resonates across diverse markets. This is a powerful way to connect with consumers on a deeper level, regardless of where they are in the world. It highlights how media and globalization work hand in hand to shape the way brands communicate globally. Multinational companies often develop advertising campaigns that go beyond national borders. These campaigns are designed to appeal to global audiences by incorporating cultural references that are relevant and meaningful, while also adapting the messaging to fit different cultural contexts. This approach showcases the dynamic interplay between media, globalization, and marketing strategies, demonstrating how brands can effectively connect across cultures while maintaining their core message. Ultimately, these global advertising campaigns are about creating a unified yet culturally sensitive brand presence worldwide, ensuring that messaging resonates no matter where the audience is located. Let's explore the ongoing debate between cultural homogenization and cultural diversity. Some argue that the dominance of Western, especially American, media has led to the dilution of unique cultural traditions. They believe this creates a more standardized, global culture that erodes local identities. On the flip side, there are advocates who see media as a powerful tool for promoting cultural diversity. They point out how media now makes it possible for marginalized cultural expressions to gain visibility and be shared widely, enriching our global landscape. This intersection of media and globalization is really a balancing act. On one hand, the spread of media content across borders fosters a sense of global cultural convergence, more shared experiences, and common references. But on the other hand, increased exposure to diverse cultures encourages us to appreciate and value local and regional identities more deeply. So, the core tension here is between how media can both unify us through shared culture and also celebrate the richness of our differences. This is a key point in understanding the complex role media plays in shaping our world today. Balancing global and local content is really essential. We need to find that right mix where global media can share ideas and stories, but at the same time, we must protect and preserve local cultures. When we do this, it allows diverse perspectives to thrive and helps prevent the loss of unique cultural identities. Now, one challenge we face is the unequal distribution of media resources. Often, voices from developing countries get marginalized or overlooked, which can reinforce cultural hegemony. That's when a few dominant cultures control the narrative. This situation limits the diversity of perspectives we see and hear. Critics often point out that Western media conglomerates tend to dominate the scene. Their content can sometimes lead to the erosion of local cultures because homogeneous content spreads across different regions. This phenomenon raises concerns about cultural homogenization, meaning cultures becoming more similar, or even cultural imperialism, where one culture imposes its values on others. So the key takeaway here is to be mindful of the tension between cultural homogenization and cultural diversity. We want to embrace the richness of local cultures while benefiting from global content, ensuring that diversity is preserved and valued. Even though English has become the global lingua franca, it's important to recognize that local languages and dialects are still very much alive and celebrated around the world. This linguistic diversity really highlights how resilient cultural expressions can be, and it plays a crucial role in preserving the unique identities of different communities. Moving on to the world of film, while Hollywood has a huge global influence, many local film industries continue to produce stories that are deeply rooted in their own cultural perspectives and storytelling traditions. This diversity in cinema helps maintain the cultural uniqueness of each region, enriching the global film landscape. And when we look at food, even with the widespread presence of fast food chains, traditional culinary practices are still thriving. From vibrant street foods to family recipes passed down through generations, these diverse food cultures resist complete homogenization and keep their distinct flavors and preparation methods alive. All of these examples, language, film, and food, serve as clear proofs of cultural diversity. They remind us that despite globalization, local traditions and expressions remain vital, contributing to the rich tapestry of human culture that we all share. These examples really highlight the delicate balance we need to strike between cultural homogenization and cultural diversity in our increasingly globalized media landscape. Local cuisines and traditional recipes are perfect illustrations of this. They reflect the unique cultural identities of regions around the world. Not only do they bring gastronomic pleasure, but they also serve as a window into the diverse culinary traditions that define different communities. Think about multicultural festivals like the Pahiyas Festival in the Philippines. These events bring people together to celebrate their heritage, fostering cultural exchange and mutual understanding. It's a powerful reminder that shared celebrations can build bridges between cultures. Preserving indigenous arts and crafts is another key aspect. These practices showcase unique cultural expressions and help keep traditions alive, allowing us to appreciate and learn from the diversity that exists within different societies. And then there are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, such as the historic town of Vigan and the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras. These sites play a crucial role in protecting the rich cultural heritage of various regions, serving as living monuments of history and tradition. All of these examples demonstrate the ongoing tension we face. On one hand, global media and commerce tend to push toward cultural uniformity, but on the other, there's a vital need to protect and promote diverse cultural expressions. It's about finding that balance, supporting and celebrating diversity while navigating the influences of a connected world. As we look at the rapid globalization of media, we see that it's brought with it a whole set of new challenges that we need to carefully navigate. One major aspect is the shifting power dynamics and media ownership, which influence what stories get told and who controls the information. Alongside that, we have the rise of cyber ghettos, virtual spaces where certain groups cluster and sometimes become isolated from broader societal discourse. Then there's the phenomenon of digital herd mentality, where people tend to follow popular trends or opinions online without much critical thinking. These issues highlight how complex the modern media landscape has become, and they remind us that as media professionals, we need to approach these challenges thoughtfully. Overall, understanding these dynamics helps us grasp the bigger picture of how globalization impacts media, and why we must stay vigilant and responsible in our roles. Let's talk about how media corporations with vested interests can really shape public opinion. They have the power to influence political discourse and, unfortunately, sometimes perpetuate inequalities. This kind of influence can be quite harmful, especially when it affects the democratic process and the free flow of information that we rely on for an informed society. Now, moving to the theme of globalization, we see that it has led to a concentration of media ownership. A few large conglomerates now control a significant portion of the media outlets worldwide. This concentration of power is concerning because it raises questions about media bias and whose interests are really being served. When a handful of companies set the agenda, there's a real risk of propaganda and skewed information. It's important to understand that this dynamic influences what news gets prioritized and how issues are presented to the public. So, this concentration of power ties directly into the broader discussion of power dynamics and media ownership. It's a critical point because it shapes how information flows and how societal narratives are constructed, impacting democracy itself. All of this underscores the importance of critically examining who owns the media and how that ownership influences the messages we receive every day. Rupert Murdoch, an Australian-born media mogul, has built a vast media empire through his company, News Corporation. His holdings include some of the most influential outlets in the world, such as Fox News, The Wall Street Journal, The Times, and The Sun. These are not just casual media properties. They are major players that shape public opinion and influence political discourse. Murdoch's control over these outlets gives him significant power within the global media landscape. This raises important questions about the potential for concentrated media influence, agenda setting, and the impact on democratic processes. As we look at the broader picture, Murdoch's empire exemplifies how media ownership can centralize power and shape narratives on a global scale. The concern here is that this bias in media coverage can really have a harmful effect on our democratic process. When the media isn't providing a diverse range of perspectives and information, it can limit what the public is exposed to, which is problematic for a healthy democracy. This raises important questions about the power and responsibility that media conglomerates hold in shaping public discourse. It's crucial to think about how transparency and accountability in the media industry are needed to ensure they serve the public interest. Now, looking specifically at Murdoch's media empire, especially Fox News in the United States, we see a lot of criticism aimed at its perceived political biases. Critics argue that Fox News tends to promote conservative viewpoints and supports specific political agendas, which can influence the stories that are told and how they're presented. This can sway public opinion on a wide range of issues, affecting the way viewers understand and engage with politics and current events. So, when we talk about Murdoch's media empire, it's important to recognize how powerful media ownership can shape narratives and influence public perception. This is a key part of understanding the broader themes of media influence and responsibility that run throughout this presentation. Let's talk about the concentration of media ownership, specifically in the hands of Rupert Murdoch. This has raised some important concerns about how media can shape public opinion and influence political discourse. When one person or entity controls a large portion of the media outlets, they have the power to set the agenda. That means they can decide which stories to highlight, how to frame issues, and even which perspectives to include or exclude. This kind of control raises questions about the integrity of the information we receive. Are we getting a balanced view, or is the narrative being shaped to serve certain interests? It's important to recognize how this level of influence can impact democracy and the public's understanding of important issues. So, in summary, media consolidation like this can significantly affect the way stories are told and what stories are told, ultimately influencing political discourse and public opinion. Let's take a moment to consider the reach of Murdoch's media empire across multiple countries. This widespread influence raises some important concerns about the concentration of power in the hands of just a few individuals or corporations. When a single entity or a small group controls such a large portion of the media landscape, it can lead to a lack of diversity in the voices and perspectives we see and hear. This concentration can also result in biased or agenda-driven reporting, which has serious implications for public discourse. When the information we receive is shaped by a limited set of interests, it can distort the way we understand important issues, affecting the free exchange of ideas that's vital for a healthy democracy. Murdoch's empire doesn't just operate within one country. It extends beyond borders, giving him the ability to shape media narratives on a global scale. His influence in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom has sparked ongoing debates about the dangers of such power being concentrated in a few hands and the potential for cross-border media manipulation. This kind of influence can restrict the variety of viewpoints that are available to the public, making it harder for diverse opinions to be expressed and heard. Ultimately, this dynamic can hinder the free flow of information, which is a cornerstone of informed citizenship and democratic decision-making. So, understanding these cross-border influences is crucial as we think about the broader impact of media consolidation and its implications for society and democracy as a whole. The herd mentality, also known as mob mentality, has always been around us. It's fascinating how much wanting to be part of the crowd can influence our behavior, especially with the popular idea of the fear of missing out, or FOMO. Nowadays, with the internet constantly growing and information spreading so rapidly, this herd mentality has become even more widespread and powerful. In the digital economy, this phenomenon clearly impacts how individuals make economic decisions, which in turn affects businesses in both positive and negative ways. It really depends on what the herd's purpose is, whether they're supporting or undermining certain trends. So, understanding this digital-based herd mentality is crucial because it shapes consumer behavior and market dynamics in ways we need to pay close attention to. Let's take a closer look at herd mentality and how it has been explored in various works of literature. For instance, there was a fascinating study conducted at Leeds University by Professor Jens Krause. In this experiment, volunteers were asked to walk randomly without any clear direction. What was interesting is that over time, they ended up following just one or two people who seemed to know where they were going. This clearly demonstrates the power of mob mentality, where individuals tend to follow the crowd even without explicit guidance. Herd mentality essentially refers to the tendency of individuals within a group to align their thoughts and behaviors through interaction, without any formal coordination. It's like a convergence towards similar behavior, where people end up blindly following others' actions. And sometimes, these actions might not even be rational or beneficial for the individual. Research shows that this mentality can seem rational at times because individuals often believe that other decision-makers might have valuable information that they themselves lack. So, in a way, following the crowd can be seen as a way of making safer or smarter decisions based on collective knowledge. Understanding herd mentality helps us see how group dynamics influence decision-making, especially in high-stakes situations or where information is incomplete. It ties into our overall theme by illustrating how powerful social influence can be, sometimes overriding individual judgment. As social media continues to grow, we've seen how personalized algorithms play a significant role in shaping what we see online. These algorithms tend to show us content that matches our existing views and interests, which can seem convenient, but actually has some downsides. For example, it can reinforce our biases because we're mostly exposed to similar perspectives, and it can also help spread misinformation more easily. Plus, this personalization can make it harder to understand different cultures and viewpoints, leading to a kind of digital echo chamber. Now, this idea of cyber ghettos ties into that. It refers to the formation of online communities that become somewhat isolated from the rest of the digital world. These enclaves often develop because of language barriers, cultural preferences, or shared beliefs. Over time, they create insular spaces, what we call echo chambers, that limit exposure to diverse ideas and reinforce groupthink. Understanding these phenomena is crucial because they connect directly to our broader theme, how digital environments influence social cohesion and division. Recognizing the formation of cyber ghettos helps us see the importance of fostering more inclusive and diverse online spaces. Online platforms often face challenges when it comes to moderating content effectively and enforcing policies that prevent the creation of cyber ghettos. When moderation is inadequate, it can allow hate speech, misinformation, and exclusionary practices to spread more easily. This, in turn, worsens the issue of online segregation and division. Moving on to targeted advertising. Many advertisers rely on data-driven strategies to reach specific groups based on demographics or interests. While this can be very effective for marketing, it can also unintentionally contribute to isolating certain groups within online spaces. These targeted ads can reinforce existing biases and limit users' exposure to diverse perspectives, further deepening divides. Then we have the role of algorithms. Many platforms use content curating algorithms that tailor what users see based on their preferences and past engagement. The problem is, these algorithms can unintentionally reinforce biases and filter out content that challenges users' existing beliefs. As a result, people often find themselves in echo chambers, where they only see content that confirms their views, making it harder to encounter different opinions and fostering separation from other perspectives. Overall, these media practices, moderation challenges, targeted advertising, and algorithmic biases play significant roles in contributing to cyber ghettos. They shape online environments in ways that can deepen divisions and reinforce social silos. Social media platforms have really changed the way we share and access information across the globe. They've made it easier for more people to get involved and share their views, which is great for democratizing information. But at the same time, these platforms have also introduced the concept of filter bubbles. Filter bubbles happen when social media algorithms start curating content based on what a user prefers or their online behavior. This means that the content you see is often tailored just for you, which can sound good at first. But the problem is, it can isolate us from different perspectives and challenging viewpoints. We might end up only seeing information that confirms what we already believe, which narrows our understanding of the world. This can lead to a skewed or limited view of reality, making it harder to encounter diverse opinions or new ideas. And in the context of our overall theme, it highlights how technology shapes our perception and can reinforce echo chambers if we're not careful. Media platforms can unfortunately serve as breeding grounds for cyberbullying and harassment, especially targeting minority or marginalized groups. The digital space often provides a sense of anonymity and distance, which can embolden individuals to engage in harmful behaviors that they might not consider in face-to-face interactions. This creates a hostile environment for those targeted, making online spaces unsafe and unwelcoming. Online harassment and the spread of disinformation can have serious, detrimental effects on individuals and entire communities. It can damage reputations, cause emotional distress, and even incite further division. These negative impacts undermine the positive potential of media globalization, which ideally should be about connecting people and sharing knowledge across borders. It's important to recognize these issues so we can work towards safer, more inclusive online spaces that promote respect and understanding, rather than hostility and misinformation. Now, moving on to a critical aspect of our digital age, the rapid spread of misinformation and disinformation through media platforms. This phenomenon can really lead to the amplification of false narratives and conspiracy theories, which can be quite damaging. It's important to understand that this kind of misinformation often targets specific groups, causing harm, creating division, and sometimes even inciting conflict. The ease with which information can be shared online, combined with the anonymity that platforms provide, has played a huge role in enabling online harassment, trolling, and the spread of harmful content. Social media, as we've seen, has dramatically reshaped how information is disseminated and received around the world. On one hand, it has democratized access, empowering individuals from diverse backgrounds and regions to both consume and produce content. This has led to incredible movements, like the Arab Spring or the Women's Marches, where social media became a powerful tool for organizing, mobilizing, and raising awareness against authoritarian regimes and social injustices. However, this same openness can also facilitate the spread of disinformation and harassment. That's why it's crucial for us to understand the dual nature of social media's impact, both its potential for positive social change and its challenges in combating misinformation and online abuse. Recognizing these issues helps us better navigate the digital landscape and promotes responsible use of these powerful tools. Now, while social media has many positive aspects, there's also a darker side that we need to consider. One key issue is what we might call cyber ghettos or echo chambers. These terms describe how online spaces can become fragmented into tightly knit communities that share similar beliefs and opinions. The idea of the splinternet is related. It refers to how the internet is breaking into smaller, segmented parts, often aligned with specific ideologies. People tend to connect predominantly with others who think like they do, which creates an echo chamber effect. What this means is that our existing beliefs get reinforced because we're mostly exposed to viewpoints that agree with us, while dissenting opinions get ignored or silenced. Over time, this can lead to increased polarization, people becoming more divided, and a closed-mindedness where alternative perspectives are shut out. In the context of our overall discussion, it's important to recognize that social media, while powerful for connecting us, can also contribute to these divisions. These echo chambers can intensify misunderstandings and make it harder to find common ground. Let's take a closer look at some of the key risks we face online. Doxing, for example, is when someone maliciously releases your private or identifying information on the internet. This can be incredibly damaging and invasive. Threats are another serious concern. These are statements that imply or directly threaten physical harm or other criminal acts, and they need to be taken seriously. Harassment involves persistent, unwanted messages or comments that can create a hostile environment. It can be very distressing and impact your well-being. While trolling isn't necessarily a criminal offense on its own, it can quickly escalate into behaviors that cross the line, into harassment or even threats. That's when it might be necessary to involve law enforcement or seek legal advice. So, if you're dealing with someone who engages in doxing, threats, or harassment, it's often a good idea to contact the police. Now, moving on, let's consider the detrimental effects of cyber ghettos. These are online spaces where negative behaviors thrive and can cause real harm to individuals and communities. If a troll makes explicit threats of violence, harm, or any kind of danger against you or others, it's a very serious situation that shouldn't be ignored. You should report these threats to law enforcement immediately. Threats that are credible, meaning they seem real and believable, and imminent, meaning they are about to happen, and that show a genuine intent to cause harm are particularly concerning. These could potentially lead to criminal charges against the person making the threats. It's important to remember that cyberbullying and online harassment aren't just hurtful. They can also have serious legal consequences. And victims shouldn't hesitate to seek help from authorities when they feel threatened or unsafe. This underscores the overall theme of our presentation. Understanding the legal implications of online behavior is essential to protecting yourself and others in the digital space. While media can be a powerful tool for social change, it's important to recognize that it can also have a darker side. For example, trolling, stalking, and other forms of online harassment can really undermine the efforts of social movements. They can discourage participation and create a hostile environment online. Stalking, in particular, can escalate from persistent online pursuit to more serious physical threats, which often require legal intervention in many places. On the other hand, the role of media in empowering social movements has become even more significant in our globalized world. Today, social movements can leverage global media platforms to raise awareness far beyond their local communities. They can mobilize support quickly and drive societal change across borders. The interconnectedness that media provides allows ideas, narratives, and calls to action to spread rapidly, amplifying the impact of these movements. So, while media offers incredible opportunities to unite and inspire, we also need to be aware of its potential risks. It's about understanding how to harness its power responsibly, ensuring it remains a force for good in advancing social causes. So, as we look at how globalization has influenced social movements around the world, it's clear that increased interconnectedness has played a crucial role. With the rise of global media and communication networks, information now flows more freely than ever before. This means that social movements can gain visibility much faster and reach a broader audience. It's also become much easier to mobilize support across borders, allowing these movements to coordinate efforts on a much larger scale. What's really important here is how this interconnectedness empowers marginalized groups. They now have more tools to amplify their voices, challenge existing power structures, and push for change more effectively than in the past. This idea ties back to our overall theme of how globalization is transforming social activism, making it more accessible, widespread, and impactful. It's a powerful reminder of how connectedness can be a force for social justice. The global reach of social media platforms has really transformed the way social movements like Me Too spread and gain momentum. Because these platforms connect people across borders, the Me Too movement was able to transcend national boundaries and inspire similar campaigns worldwide. This kind of cross-border solidarity and information sharing has been absolutely crucial in holding powerful individuals and institutions accountable, no matter where they are located. The Me Too movement is a prime example of how social media and global communication tools can empower individuals and amplify their voices. It started in 2017 as a way for people, mainly women, to share their experiences of sexual harassment and assault. By using the hashtag #MeToo, the movement quickly gained traction, went viral, and created a space where survivors could connect, support each other, and speak out against abuse of power. This example really highlights the power of social media in shaping social change. It shows how a simple hashtag can catalyze a global conversation, making it easier for people to stand together and demand accountability. Overall, Me Too exemplifies how digital platforms can enable social movements to grow beyond borders and create real impact. The widespread attention and momentum generated by the Me Too movement have really resonated beyond just one industry or one country. It's inspired similar movements across various sectors and nations, which has helped amplify its impact on a truly global scale. As more people find the courage to speak up and share their experiences, we see the potential for lasting change growing stronger. This creates a more equitable society where accountability and respect become the norm. The Me Too movement has played a crucial role in societal change, especially in bringing issues like sexual harassment and misconduct into the spotlight. By empowering victims to come forward and tell their stories, it has made it clear just how widespread these problems are. This increased awareness has prompted policy changes and shifted cultural attitudes. Organizations and individuals are now held to higher standards of behavior. Overall, the movement has sparked a shift towards a more responsible and respectful environment, which ties directly into our broader theme of social progress and justice. It's about recognizing these issues, addressing them head-on, and creating a future where everyone feels safe and respected. It's important to note that the legal definitions and implications of these actions can vary significantly based on your jurisdiction. If you believe you're dealing with a troll who is engaging in any of the aforementioned behaviors, it's advisable to consult with legal counsel or law enforcement authorities to determine the appropriate course of action based on the laws applicable in your area. The power of media has been truly instrumental in amplifying and mobilizing social movements across the globe. Throughout history, media has played a crucial role in raising awareness about important issues. It helps to inform the public and bring attention to causes that might otherwise go unnoticed. Media also galvanizes support by connecting people who share similar values and concerns, creating a sense of solidarity. From the civil rights movement in the United States to the Arab Spring, we see how media can be a catalyst for change. It doesn't just spread information, it inspires action, encourages participation, and ultimately drives social and political transformation. This highlights how vital media is in shaping social movements and advancing societal progress, tying back to our overall theme of communication's influence on social change. Now, by amplifying marginalized voices, media globalization has really played a significant role in driving social change and promoting justice on a global scale. When these voices are shared widely, it helps bring attention to issues that might otherwise be ignored. However, we also need to be aware of some challenges that come with this rapid spread of information. For example, the blurring of cultural boundaries can sometimes lead to a kind of cultural homogenization, where unique traditions and identities become diluted or lost. Additionally, the same digital spaces that empower social movements can also be fertile ground for misinformation and online harassment, which can undermine the very causes they aim to support. On the positive side, globalization and digital media have created a platform for grassroots activism to really gain momentum. Marginalized groups and activists can now raise awareness about social issues more effectively than ever before. They can mobilize support quickly and challenge oppressive systems directly through these networks. Movements like Black Lives Matter, Me Too, and climate activism have all relied heavily on media networks to reach a global audience and create real impact. So overall, media and globalization have both positive and negative consequences. They have empowered social change and connected people across borders, but they also pose challenges like cultural homogenization and misinformation. This duality highlights the complex role media plays in shaping our interconnected world and underscores why understanding these dynamics is so important in our broader discussion of globalization's impact. The Me Too movement is a really powerful example of how media and social movements intersect. When the hashtag went viral on social media in 2017, it really brought to light just how widespread sexual harassment and assault are, especially in the workplace. This movement showed us how media can amplify issues and help mobilize people to create social change. It empowered individuals to speak out against injustice and hold those in power accountable. As we look at the broader picture of media globalization, this example highlights both the opportunities and challenges it presents. It demonstrates how media can serve as a tool for advocacy and change on a global scale, but also reminds us of the complexities involved in addressing issues that cross borders and cultures. Overall, it underscores the profound impact media has in shaping social movements and advancing justice worldwide. Now, one of the most impactful aspects of social media has been how it has provided a platform for sharing personal stories and experiences. This has been especially important for women, who historically might have felt isolated or silenced. By sharing their stories online, survivors of sexual harassment and assault have been able to break the silence and speak out against their perpetrators. The use of hashtags, like Me Too, played a crucial role here. It created a collective narrative, an enormous, powerful movement that resonated with millions of people around the world. This collective voice not only raised awareness, but also fostered a sense of solidarity and support among survivors. This movement truly served as a catalyst for change, showing how social media can be harnessed to challenge silence, break taboos, and push for accountability. It connects directly to our overall theme of how digital platforms can empower individuals to drive social transformation and advocate for justice. The impact of the Me Too movement extends far beyond individual cases of harassment or assault. It has sparked a much broader cultural shift, encouraging open discussions about consent, power dynamics, and gender equality. This movement has also led to tangible changes in workplace policies and legal frameworks, all aimed at addressing and preventing sexual harassment more effectively. The Me Too movement exemplifies how media globalization, using both traditional media and digital platforms, has played a crucial role in mobilizing and amplifying social movements. It has given a voice to marginalized individuals who might otherwise have remained unheard, raising awareness about systemic issues that perpetuate inequality and harassment. Ultimately, this movement has propelled societal change on a global scale, demonstrating the powerful potential of media to connect, inform, and inspire action across borders. When we harness the potential of media globalization, we can foster more inclusive, informed, and proactive communities. As we conclude, I want to emphasize the importance of recognizing the challenges that come with media globalization, such as cultural homogenization, power imbalances, and the spread of disinformation. These issues can threaten diversity and undermine informed societies. However, by understanding these challenges, we can work towards harnessing the positive potential of global media for societal betterment. This means committing to media pluralism, supporting independent journalism, and fostering responsible reporting practices. These efforts are essential to promote diversity, inclusivity, and ensure the free flow of accurate information in our increasingly interconnected world. Ultimately, embracing these principles helps us build a more equitable and informed global community.